morning and welcome back to Coffee with a Kick. I am trying out a new intro there. Good morning and welcome back. Let me know how you think. We actually had a very useful comment left on the last YouTube episode from our good old friend Colin Weir, letting us know that last 16 for the UCL is a full-on draw. So there's not like the World Cup. It's a full draw between winners and runners-up. However, teams from the same country cannot meet in the round of 16. They have to wait till the quarters. So, Colin Weir, good looking out. And we'll move on. Hey, if you're interested, though, go and check out our other episode from earlier this week on Tuesday, where we did a full breakdown of Champions League group predictions.
Colin thought it was interesting, apparently. So
hey, interesting enough to steer us in the right direction. So, good on you, Colin Weir. Don't know where you live, don't know where you are, but here's hoping you're a return customer.
Don't know where you are. That's a good one, man.
Well, you know, we have listeners from Australia, Ireland, the UK, United States, Canada, basically anywhere where there's a majority English-speaking country. And so I don't know where he's from.
But his last name is Weir, so...
It is Weir.
I thought it was a good one.
Oh! Wow. Okay. Anyways, it is now match day 5 coming up this weekend. No matches today. Full slate on Saturday. A little bit on Sunday. And then we got a match on Monday. But what do you say we just go ahead and... Oh, let me get to the right page of my notes. There we are. Get right into it with a lovely matchup here for my Wolves at Molineux against Liverpool. What do you think here, Keegan? I don't know.
I think that big clubs often struggle when they have a lot of players go on international duty.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Wolves, defensively, they figure it out. And I think Liverpool has a little bit of a struggle. I've been the one that's kind of gone out there in some of my predictions. I'll do it again. I'm going to go a 1-1 draw at the Molineux. The Wolves steal a point from a top 4 team.
I mean, I'll take it. Liverpool is still down Van Dijk for his red card. Serving the second of his 2-game suspension. So that could play into it. I have it as a respectable 1-2 loss to Liverpool. That's perfectly respectable. Get a goal out of it. Keep that rolling. But I would definitely take the point. I don't think it'll happen though. I don't think we're good enough to draw Liverpool. Yeah, but that ends up the early slate there on Saturday. We'll just take a hop, skip, and a jump over to what's much further than that, but whatever. To up in Villa Park in Birmingham. That's Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. This one, I think, has the making of a very exciting match. Both these teams have shown that they can score goals, and I think that they will. I think this is going to be a 3-3 draw for Villa and Palace.
Yeah, I know Villa has some injuries to their defense, so it's going to be interesting to see how their center backs pair up. I'm guessing that they're probably going to play a back 3. I know that was kind of the old Wolves, but they're kind of short on defense, so I think they'll go back 3 and let Matty Cash. I just said Wolves. That was the old Aston Villa.
Yeah.
I think they'll go wing backs. I think Unai Emery is going to try and limit his defense from being too short in the middle. He'll want an extra center back in there just for the sake of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think Villa pull it out 3-2. I think they get a late goal. I'm going to go 87th minute. I don't know who's going to score it, but 87th minute, they'll get it. And I think they end up taking it at home.
I have written down 87th minute, so if it occurs, we will remember. Now, this next match, it's on Peacock. I don't think that it's going to be getting much traffic. It is Fulham and Luton Town. Fulham pulling up a really nice matchup here. because Luton Town is not very good.
No, I think Luton Town, again, they've shown that they might not even be a championship level side. And maybe it's just a hangover from getting into the Premier League. Maybe they'll shock me, but I don't think that they have what it takes to even beat Fulham. Fulham has been really good this year so far. I think they continue it. I'm going 3-0 win, Fulham. It's at Craven Cottage. I really don't think Fulham is going to even drop points in this one.
I've got it as a 1-0 Fulham victory. Fulham haven't shown that they can score in bunches aside from that match against Arsenal. They got blanked by Brentford earlier, and they managed to pull a goal against City. But I don't think that they'll have that much production this weekend, even against the Luton Town side who are definitely porous on defense, definitely quite porous. But I don't know if Fulham has the ability to take advantage of that. Now I think we go into the one of two really nice matches. I think this weekend, both of them will be occurring at the 10 o'clock slot. But this one is one half of the Manchester teams. United hosting Brighton at Old Trafford.
Now let's go ahead and put it on record. It's the team that's not actually in Manchester that's playing. So I don't know if it's even one half of Manchester, maybe the outer rim.
One half of the duo that claims Manchester as its home side. How about that? Can I put that out there?
I know. It is what it is.
Anyway.
Yeah. I think that this one will be a good one. I think Man U's going to want to prove a little bit after the break. But again, I think some of the bigger clubs have problems coming out of the international breaks. Like Man City almost always draw or drop points after international breaks because we just get into this lull. Players go off. They travel a lot. They go to countries that are in Turkey. Some go to the Middle East. Some go to Africa. So they're kind of spread out everywhere. I think Man U gets hurt by that. And I think Brighton, having had a solid week and a half, being able to kind of regroup, get some of their players back together, I think it's going to end up being a 4-2 Brighton win at Old Trafford.
See, I have something similar. However, looking at Brighton's results, every time the losing side only scores one goal. So I actually have it as 1-3 Brighton advantage, which will fall right in nicely. Although, there's a couple patterns that you can see in theirs. But, I'm going to go 3-1 Brighton. I think United stumble here. I've picked them for, I think, fourth. But I think Brighton is just showing a lot of class this season. A lot of goal-scoring potential. Aside from that fluky match against West Ham where they just couldn't convert.
I think Man U, they, underneath Ten Hag, they haven't been that much better than they were underneath Ralph Rangnick.
Yeah.
I remember at the end of last year, they showed a stat where Ten Hag in the same amount of games had actually put up 4 less points than Rangnick did. Maybe that's changed since a little bit of the end of last season. I think it was in end of March. But Ten Hag is a younger guy, and there's a lot of excitement. But I haven't seen anything happen that makes me convinced they're a top 4 team. So I think they'll struggle with Brighton. I think this will kind of be a reset of where do we go, what do we do. Again, Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans, if you got those guys finishing off a game in defense, it's not going to be a good game.
Yeah.
It just won't.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see this weekend. I'll have it probably on one screen with a different match on the main screen. Next match won't be on either screen. I will tell you that much. Spurs hosting Sheffield United. Speaking of sides that are not very good, I think that this one's going to be a pretty thorough drubbing of Sheffield United. 4-0 for Tottenham, with a goal each from Son and what's his name? I can't remember. Hold on, it's on my notes from the last game.
Is he a winger or is he a midi?
Madison, right? He's
James
the
Madison.
yeah
Oh,
Madison. Yeah, that's who I meant.
Yeah, I think, this will be one of those where it's almost like you're going to feel really bad for Sheffield United. It's like that kid on the corner that he didn't quite make the basketball team, so you want to go give him a hug. I don't know. I think 6-0. And I've been wrong on the big scores lately. But I think this one, I think Kulusevski, or as
Really?
brother calls him, Kulusexy, I think he'll get a brace. I think Son gets a brace. And I think a couple of the guys score. Couldn't tell you who, but those wingers are going to get involved. Sheffield United recently in the last 4 matches have had trouble with the wingers, and that's Tottenham's entire offense. So, I think it's going to be pretty bad at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Yeah, I'm with you. It's going to be a pretty thorough beating for sure.
Yeah, and Sheffield just have to take it and press on because there's going to be a lot of that for them this season. They're going to be scrounging for points at the bottom of the table, and I don't think they're getting any here. Don't think they're getting any of them here. Now we'll move on to that other match that I was referencing, which includes apparently the only club from actual Manchester. West Ham hosting Man City at London Stadium in good old London town. I'm excited for this match. I think it's going to be pretty good. I think that City will end up winning. I've got it as 2-4 City.
Wow.
Just because I feel like it. I think that, because I think that City's really good, I think that City's really good. So I've got them winning 2-4. Do I need another reason?
Yeah, this one makes me nervous. Again, because coming off an international break, West Ham has proven that they are a team that can hang this year. It's really every other year. Last year it was like, it's West Ham, they might get relegated. The year before that it was like, I think they finished 5th. This year it feels like they're back to, they could finish top 5, top 6. So I'm nervous about it. I ultimately think it'll be a 3-1 win, but it will be a very tough 3-1 win. I think we'll have to really, really fight for our goals. Last year, if I remember correctly, West Ham pretty much packed in the box and then left Antonio to just fend for himself. It didn't work for him. I think we won like 3 or 4-0. But they just feel like they're more cohesive. So I think 3-1 City, but it'll be a tough one.
Yeah, you guys definitely took care of business. It was 3-0 last season at the Etihad, and then 2-0 on the away side for City there. I think that this it could be a very intriguing match though. Like I could see this in my prediction being like 2-2 in the 70th or so minute with a goal will get put in at that point, and then it's a little bit of a back and forth there for the last 20 minutes or so, something along those lines. Because West Ham has shown themselves. I mean, their sound defeat of Brighton two match days ago in Brighton was very impressive. And then they kind of played to the talent of their side against Lutontown last match day. But if they can bring that energy from the Brighton match, they've got a shot to really challenge City here. Don't think they get it done, but I'm hoping for a good match. And then in the not nightcap, but the 12:30 match, nightcap for England at least.
The prime time.
Newcastle and Brentford. At the beginning of the season, I would have thought this had gone one way. We are now match day 5, and I have completely flipped on what I would have said otherwise. Because Brentford is looking pretty quality, and Newcastle is struggling. So I've got this as a 1-3 victory for Brentford at St. James Park in Newcastle.
Yeah, I think it'll be a 1-1 draw, and I think it'll be a match where Brentford will have wished they would have taken advantage of opportunities more. I don't think Brentford is quite the side that is clinical enough to put up 3 yet. I think they can, but I think Newcastle's also going to want to prove a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll be back and forth. I'm going 1-1 draw. We'll see, though. It could go anyway. I really have no idea.
Boy, this has been a tough bit of sledding for Newcastle, though. After their after their very impressive 5-1 victory in the opening match of the year against Villa, they've had to play at City, against Liverpool, and then at Brighton, and have dropped all points from those 3 matches. So we'll see if they can kind of right the ship a little bit. It very well could be the case, but they just don't have that same energy as they did last year. But we'll see. We'll see this Saturday at 12:30 on NBC Universo. All right, and that wraps up the Saturday action. We'll go ahead and move on to Sunday for the duology on that day. Why it's a duology, who could say? But we start off with Bournemouth and Chelsea at Vitality Stadium in Bournemouth.
Yeah, this one, it feels like, again, it's one of those where because of the name Chelsea, I want to have them winning like 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
But because of how they play, I have them losing 2-1.
Really?
I still don't think that even with one international break, they're not going to have it figured out.
Right.
I think it's going to take the whole season for Pochettino to really figure it out. And
that's tough.
I just don't think it's going to be this calendar year that Chelsea figures it out. So I think 2-1 loss. I think it'll be embarrassing for Chelsea, really good for Bournemouth. It'll be kind of a statement on their intent to stay up, but I just don't see Chelsea pulling it together.
Yeah, I've got it as a 1-1 draw, kind of for the same reasons that Chelsea, I mean, they just lost to Nottingham Forest, too. I mean, they played very well in that match, but still, Nottingham Forest, really? I mean, your only points have come against, you drew Liverpool in the opening match and you beat Luton Town. I mean, is anybody truly impressed with beating Luton Town at this point? Bournemouth, that would be interesting to see them pull a straight 3 out of this, because they've not been super impressive. They've shown, like, their draw against West Ham was fine, and against Brentford was fine, but other than that, they are sitting in 16th on 2 points for a reason. Chelsea's got to figure it out at some point. You would imagine they figure it out at some point. They don't have to, but you'd imagine they would. I don't think it'll be a very entertaining match, though. I think it'll be a Sunday at 9 a.m. match. So kind of like, oh, okay. It's soccer's going on. And you know what the tagline is? Grab some coffee and watch some soccer. So we better do it. We'll move on to the evening match there for Everton and Arsenal at Goodison Park in Liverpool. This one, Everton, I don't think they've got it in them. I've got this one as a straight 3-0 victory for Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Everton, again, I want to say that Everton is good. I'm going to go 2-0 win for Arsenal. Mm-hmm. I think Everton will show some more fight, and I think it'll be harder for Arsenal than they probably think. I think they'll kind of walk into it feeling like it could be an easy one, but this won't be one of those where Arsenal wins it in the 90th minute. I mean, I hope they lose, obviously, but I think Everton still has a lot to figure out. It wouldn't shock me if Everton loses this and they start to murmur about Sean Dyche being out. Yeah. But we'll see.
Did you say 2-1 or 2-0?
2-0.
Okay, that's what I thought. I mean, their only point this season thus far has come against Sheffield, Everton, with a 2-2 draw. I would have thought they would have done better with their first match, which I thought that at Fulham managed to win somehow. They just cannot convert this season in front of the goal. They have lots of good looks, but just they can't seem to put the ball in the back of the net. Their first goal didn't come until that match against Sheffield United. So that says it all right there. But then we will move on to the City Ground in Nottingham for our Monday action, which is Nottingham Forest and Burnley. Nottingham Forest, they've exceeded my expectations for sure, considering I think I had them finishing last in the league. And I think that they continue to exceed my expectations with a 2-1 victory here over Burnley.
Yeah, this one I have Burnley winning
Really?
3-1. I
Wow.
think, I mean, Nottingham, they've lost one. Their goals for and goals against even. And I think Burnley is that team that if there's any of the promoted teams that can really step up, it's going to be Burnley. Because mainly they scored so many goals last year in the championship. I think they broke several records. So I think they get it together. I think they get a win. I think that, and 3-1 is pretty conservative, or pretty, not even conservative. That's pretty, I don't even know what the word is to say, but it's, whatever that word is, it's not typical, mainly because Burnley has given up 11 goals.
Controversial?
What?
Controversial, maybe?
If that word fits.
Counterintuitive. How about that? Counterintuitive, because I was about to say that goal scoring hasn't really been Burnley's issue. It's been giving up goals. I mean, they gave up 2 goals to Newcastle. Oh, wait, no. Sorry. They've lost 3-0, 3-1, and 5-2 in their matches so far this season, because the first match against Lutontown didn't happen because of their stadium issue. So I think going to what you were about to say is that them only giving up 1 goal is a vast improvement over what they've done so far this season.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Vincent Company to become a player manager and put on the suit again. I don't know if that'll happen this game, but if their defense keeps it up, he may have to put on the claret.
He may have to go out there so that he can keep that player/coach going rather than just being a player. Because, I mean, did he get them promoted? I mean, I didn't follow them last season.
He did, yeah.
Okay. Well, they probably wouldn't sack him just because they got relegated again. I don't think, because he brought them back up. You never know with ownership. They can sometimes be a volatile bunch, not in desperate for progress, I would say. I don't see it. I don't see them, 1, getting 3 goals, and 2, only giving up 1. I just don't see that quality from them so far. Now, they could get a draw out of it. I could see like a 2-2 draw maybe. But I think Nottingham Forest has beaten the people they're supposed to beat, plus Chelsea. And Burnley is one of those that they're going to try to bank points. So, like, this is going to be this. I mean, as much as it's after international, I think this one's circled and kind of like, hey, we've got Burnley, we've got them at home. If we're going to stay up, we need to get full points out of this match. So I think this is one that they're really going to be focused on.
I think it'll be a shocker. I say if you have $10,000 in the bank, go ahead and throw it on Burnley.
Whoa. That's just a lot. If you got $10,000 to spare, how about that?
If you go and throw it on money like it's on a dirty towel, feel free, go for it. And if you lose, don't come back here and blame it on me. You chose to do it. Anyways, I think it's going to be a shocking game. I think Burnley shocks Nottingham, mainly because Nottingham is not a top of the table team. I think today they'll show that they're a bottom 10. So,
All right.
I think Monday we'll see.
We'll see on Monday. And that wraps up the action for this weekend. So, I don't have anything else to say. Do you have anything else to say today?
I'm happy that the USA was able to pull out the win versus Oman, 4-0. I was nervous, but it seems like Greg Berhalter has put the controversy aside, and we were able to beat teams that I've never even heard of. So, congratulations to them.
Everybody knows Uzbekistan. Come on. Yeah, I'm not sold on Berhalter. If you tuned in last season, you know that I'm not. We'll see if once we get into like some important and useful matches, we'll see how things shake out. But until then, why don't you go ahead and grab some coffee, watch some soccer, and we'll see you